What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty, behind the camera from Ty Drives, and this is the 2023 Audi RS5 Sportback. This one is loaded up to the gills with all kinds of dynamic features and safety features. We have the carbon black optic package, the dynamic package, the technology package, the side assist package, and just a whole load of fun with this vehicle. Stay tuned to see all of the features on the exterior, then moving on to the interior, and we're also going to strap this GoPro to my head so we can get a nice test drive going, and I could let you know how the RS5 drives. So we'll start off with the features up front, and we do have laser lights for the high and low beams here on the RS5. You can see that little laser warning right in there, pretty neat with the headlamps on, but we do have LEDs for the daytime running lights and turn signals, and looks pretty good, all illuminated dynamic turn signals too on this vehicle. You can see the cutout for the headlight washers, and you also have sensors all across the bumper for the parking sensors and also for your radar cruise control. Very aggressive air intakes for the side, also some more towards the center, and very large all blacked out grille. You can see even the Audi rings and the RS5 badge are even blacked out, and you can even see a little camera below the Audi rings for the 360 degrees view camera system. Part of the carbon optic package, you have carbon elements on the side over here, and also your bottom lip is all carbon. Very nice looking there. Pretty cool looking sloping hood with these lines that kind of waterfall into the grille. And on the side here we have these really neat looking 20-inch wheels with the machine face and the painted black pockets. Also, take a look at the size of the brake rotors, which are drilled, and the 6-piston calipers, so pretty large brakes on this vehicle. You're going to need all that stopping power with all the horsepower you have. And we do have 275/30 with tires. We have the all blacked out RS5 badging over here and carbon covered mirror caps. And those mirrors do have integrated turn signals and side blind spot assist on the inside. We also have smart key entry on all 4 of the door handles. You get a little pad to lock, and just put your hand behind the handle to unlock. Again, that is for all 4 door handles. Up top, you can see the shark fin antenna and the oversized sunroof too. And taking a step back, this is probably the best angle to see that Sportback shape. Now, you can get the RS5 in either a 2-door coupe or this 5-door sort of Sportback. I think the Sportback looks awesome, but in my opinion, the coupe definitely takes the win. You have a nice carbon spoiler up here, and going along with the more carbon is the diffuser down below. Really nice design. Take a look at that rear bumper. Kind of the carbon goes up and around the exhaust pipes and down, of course, real very large oval exhaust pipes on this vehicle. LED turn signals. Rear lighting is all LED, so the tail lights and brake lights, turn signals, all that good stuff is LED powered. It looks very nice when it's on. Have the RS5 and the Audi rings all blacked out, and just below the Audi rings we have the trunk release and reversing camera. There are 2 other cameras below the side mirrors to make that 360 degrees view camera system. So this RS5 just looks sinister, all blacked out, and especially with the black paint on the exterior. What do you guys think on the styling of the RS5? Let me know in the comments below. Popping the hood of the RS5 reveals a 2.9 liter twin turbocharged V6. That's good for 444 horsepower, 442 pound-feet of torque. All that power is hooked up to a 8-speed torque converter transmission and permanent quattro all-wheel drive. Take a look at under the hood. Very nice looking Sporty engine cover with the red accents towards there. Really nice RS logo towards the top too. You can see also lots of air inductions and piping going around. Just a very busy engine bay, but for good reason, to produce lots of horsepower and also lots of smiles. So this being the RS5 Sportback, we both have performance and versatility, which you don't often get in one single package. Now this of course is the Sportback, not the coupe, so we have a lot more trunk room. Take a look at how much room there is from the load base to the rear seats, and if you wanted to fold down those rear seats, you can do so. Kind of default, they will fold down in a 60-40 fashion, but you also have a sort of 20 a 40-20-40 possibility with that little ski hatch in there, and I'll show you how that all folds down once we get into the rear seats. But back to the trunk, we have cargo tie downs. It's also very nicely carpeted back here. We have some cargo extensions and nets off to each side, as you see, and some sort of storage solutions to either side too. We also have LED illumination and a sort of stationary cargo shade, and one that's also attached to the trunk lid. Both, of course, you can remove if you'd like. Below the cargo floor, you can see we do have a spare tire hidden under there. And once you're done getting all your goods out of the trunk, you can see we have two buttons. One to close the trunk and lock the doors, and one to simply just close the trunk. Alright, so of course all of the RS5s, S5s, and A5s will all come with frameless glass, which looks very nice. And as we open the rear door, you can see materials are also just as nice. So yes, soft touch materials up here and down here. And then we have a really nice mixed bag of very high-end materials. So very soft Napa leather right here where your arm is going to rest. We have this very nice Alcantara suede material on the door panel, as well as very nice gloss carbon fiber, metalwork, and contrast stitching. So a very nice, you know, usually when people say mixed bag of materials, it's not a good thing, but in this case, it very much so is. Bang & Olufsen speakers do come standard on the RS5, which is also pretty cool. And we have a pretty nice little storage tray there. Take a look at these seats. The pattern of the stitching is just very neat. This sort of hexagonal shape with the contrast stitching, and again, very soft Napa leather seats. Right next to the headrest, we have the little latch right there. We can fold down the seats flat. We can also fold down the pass-through, the little handle on the top up near the center headrest. That'll fold down flat as well. And one more thing that'll fold down here is the center armrest. You can also open it up, put smaller things inside for storage, and some drink holders there too. And we'll hop in quick to see how much legroom we have back here. Now I am 5'10" and I have adjusted the front seat to a normal driving position for myself, and take a look at that. I still have a couple of inches of legroom, which is very nice to see. A third passenger back here would be pretty scrunched, but there is a seat belt for them if you would like to do that. Back here we do have individual heated seats for the rear passengers, as well as a temperature. Once you turn the car on, you'll have a little LCD display right here displaying temperature, and of course you can adjust it. You have USB chargers and a 12-volt power outlet back here, and some air vents too back here. We have a full black headliner that has grab handles for the rear passengers and some LED lights back here too. Alright, so now let's get to the main event, the front seats. So door panel is very similar to the rear as far as the materials go. We just have a few more buttons and switches to go through. We first of all have two-person memory for the driver's seat. Of course, the lock and unlock buttons are up there too. We have powered controls for the child locks. Also powered folding mirrors and heated mirrors. All of the window controls and mirror adjustments are up there. And one last one to open the trunk lid. Of course, we have a few speakers on the front door panels and a little bit larger storage too up here. On the left of the dash, we have a combination of glossy black trim and carbon fiber trim. And we have all of our lighting adjustments too here in this one cluster. We have the front fog lights, the regular lighting control, and the gauge dimmer. And right here we also have adjustments for the heads-up display module. You can see right here is the adjustment for the telescoping steering wheel, and just below we have a pretty large storage pocket. As you can see, I can fit the whole entire owner's manual sleeve in that pocket, so just a frame of reference of how big that is. I have a hood release off to the left, and to the right the very nice pedals. RS5 branded door sills, and take a look at these seats. Very nice attention to detail with the RS stamped in the seats. Of course, more of that contrast stitching. And we have adjustments over here to hug and loosen the seat bolsters. We also have four-way lumbar massage functionality, which is very nice, and all of your rest of the seat controls. And we also have a manually adjusting thigh extender, which is also pretty welcomed too. Alright, so now that we're inside the RS5, we have a pretty traditional Audi key, except we do have the RS logo on the flip side. We have lock, unlock, trunk release, and panic alarms, and we have two little buttons at the bottom that you could pinch simultaneously, and that will slide out a physical key in case you need to use it. They give you a pretty cool slot just below the volume knob to stick the key, and the push button start is accented in red and right below the climate controls. That 2.9 liter twin turbo V6 does sound pretty great, and we'll get a listen to that when we get it out on the road a little bit more. But look at this steering wheel, nice dimpled leather all the way around with the RS logo towards the bottom. We have all of our adjustments for the virtual cockpit right over there, and we have mostly media controls. You have the Bluetooth phone, voice commands, skipping between different songs and tracks, and up and down for the audio. And then we also have the heated steering wheel and our RS mode button. So if you click that button, you can see the sport displays will pop up over here, and you can kind of adjust what sort of performance settings you would like to have going on, and we will take a look at that within the screen in just a minute. They do give you two different RS modes to choose from. As you're here, putting it into the RS mode will kind of raise the idle and get it ready for a launch. We do have paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel, very nicely accented in metal, and they are fixed to the steering wheel. Just behind the wheel we have a couple of stalks, one for the turn signals, automatic high beams, and also to shut on and off your lane keep assist. And we also have the one for the adaptive cruise control, and to the right we have the one for your wipers. Alright, so let's take a look at the virtual cockpit. So this is kind of our default setting, or kind of, I would say, more of a sporty setting. We have the G meter off to the left hand side, the rev counters in sort of a hockey stick design with the digital speedometer, and then we also have a percentage power and torque gauge going on here. So if I give it a little blip with the throttle, sounds great, and you can also see the real-time power and torque, which is pretty awesome. Now we can make some adjustments to the screen. Of course, we can kind of go back and forth to see our radio over here, the phone, and navigation. And at any point you can kind of press the view button, and that will expand what's in the center. It'll kind of make the RPMs get a little bit smaller, and your digital speedometer, of course, go a little bit smaller. And at any point, again, you can sort of just adjust what's going on in the center. You can also scroll down to see real-time tire pressures, and then also get that power torque gauge there as well. So pretty neat. If you take it out of the RS mode, you will get a little bit more features, so pay attention to this side here. You can kind of scroll down to see your fuel level, consumption, short and long-term memory, driver's assistance, and traffic sign recognition. That's pretty neat. Up here you can see the little cluster for your heads-up display. I'm not quite sure if you can make it out. Let's see. There we go. You can see now that the digital speedometer and lane keep assist visuals are up there. Let's see, once we turn it back into RS mode, we have a lap timer and oil temperature gauge that comes up, which is pretty awesome on the heads-up display. So that is a pretty functional heads-up display there. Shows you lots of pretty cool features as well. So let's get a look at the MMI screen. So of course, touchscreen, you have shortcuts over here and sort of a swipe down arrow for your garage door openers, tone settings for the radio and things like that. But kind of the home screen will display your radio, what your phone is doing, and the navigation. We swipe over, we get a jumbulation of all of your different apps, and we kind of quickly go through them so that you know what they look like. We have the audio screen. You can also switch to the different sources, and once you have something playing, it'll kind of come up like so. We have the media, phone, and navigation screen, which you have your map here, and then you can input your destination right over there. We have the phone apps, which has to do with the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Of course, it is wireless. We also have the vehicle screen, where we can go through the different driving modes. So we have comfort, auto, and dynamic, and then the two RS modes, which you can adjust. As you can see, a few different things that you can adjust when you have that sport rear differential, which is optional. You can also adjust that additionally too within the RS modes. Kind of drop that into comfort for now. We have the RS monitor, which is really neat, and once the car warms up, you can kind of get different temperatures from each of those different systems. We can scroll over to see a more detailed G-force meter and again, individual tire pressures. We have energy screens, the seat controls, lighting and visibility, which this car does have a pretty neat ambient lighting system, which you can see has different sort of preset lights, and then you can adjust for 2 different colors at a time actually, and you have all these colors to choose from. Pretty neat. We also have the system settings in here. The brightness, the sound settings, all that good stuff, all within the settings screen right here. We have different users that you could set up, so if you have multiple people driving the cars, you say we can kind of program them with the keys, and when that particular key gets in the car, all of that person's settings will show up. There are various different things through SiriusXM, like the weather, calendar, purchases for different apps, and news and various messengers and things like that. Might be missing something in the vehicle information screen. Yes, the driver's assistance. So I wanted to go through here so that you could see what kind of driver's assistance this vehicle has. So quite a few. You see we have the blind spot, pre-sense, lane assist, traffic jam assist, which is absolutely awesome, and it works in conjunction with the adaptive cruise control. Definitely very useful for traffic jams. Take a look down below the screen. We have the hazards and a very simple 3-zone climate control. We have heated seats to either side, and your defrosters here, and sort of more settings off to each side. You can twist for your different temperatures and press in for automatic setting. You can also press down like so to get your different where you want the air to blow. You have your AC settings, fan speed, 3-zone or sync, and then you can also set the rear climate control. Pretty unique that you could turn the rear heated seats on from the front too. But yeah, that's the climate control. We have a couple of more buttons down below. You saw this before, which is the driver's mode select. You can do that quickly. You can also turn on and off your traction control, on and off the auto parking assist, on and off your parking sensors and parking camera, and on and off your upper screen. Down below those toggles, we of course have the start stop for the engine, a USB and 12-volt power outlet, and a little tray here, good to put like spare change or pencils and pens. We have some cup holders, a little bit more storage right in front of the gear selector. Again, 8-speed torque converter transmission for this vehicle. You can go straight down into drive. Once you're in drive, you actually have a couple of different selections, so you can kind of bump it down into a sport mode, Still automatic, but then if you want to put it into manual, you can bump it over like so, and you could change gears down here with the shifter like that, or with the paddle shifters. You can also put it all the way up into reverse, where we have our backup camera and 360 view actually comes up. There's actually quite a few camera views we can go through. We have a wide angle front view, sort of normal front, larger top down, and that'll kind of replace with the parking sensors over here. Reverse camera, wide angle reverse camera, and then the front and rear wheels, because you want to make sure you don't curb these wheels. And then we have the P for park. Nice little RS logo down here with the electronic parking brake. As you saw before, you have the volume knob and a nice little place to put your key, and a pretty cool combination of gloss black and carbon fiber trim down in the center console. Very soft leather armrest. You can lift it up and it'll kind of stay in place, so if you like a height adjustable armrest, you have it in this car. Wireless charging pad for your phone, and a USB-C inlet over there. Passenger area has some carbon fiber to look at and the Quattro emblem. They also have a lockable glove box. It's all felt lined. You have pen holders in there, and lighting. For the sun visors, you could fold them on down and you can see the light and mirror. Center stack has a bunch of controls we can go through, such as more the LED lighting, more lighting controls up here too, the SOS button and information servicing button, and we also have a separate button for the sunshade and sunroof. So it is actually a single button for the sunshade and sunroof. You can just pick it back by pressing it once. That'll open the fabric sunshade, and then you could also use that same button to either tilt or slide the glass of the sunroof. Pretty neat. And we also have our rear view mirror, which is auto dimming and has a compass in it. So I think you get a pretty good idea on all of the features of the RS5. Now the exciting part, let's get this thing out on the road and see how it drives. All right, let's get this RS5 out on the road finally. So, little disclaimer, I'm going to pull up the driving mode select so that you know what driving mode we're in at the specific time in the video. We are going to start out with comfort, so we can kind of get a good feel for the suspension in a comfort sort of setting, so that if you're going to be driving this car every day, you know that it's going to be comfy enough to do just that. But a little overview of our test drive. We're going to bring it down here to a dead end, and we're going to see what the turning circle is like. If you guys live near the city or take your car to the city, you know, here or there, you want to make sure it has a good turning circle, so we're going to test that out for you. We'll then get it out onto more of a straight road. We'll hopefully hit, you know, 45, 50 miles an hour. Get a good feel for that up at those speeds, you know, get the tire noise, wind noise, all that good stuff. Then we'll get it on the back road, and we'll kind of just start it off with an acceleration. We'll see how fast we can get this thing up to 60. We're going to start from 25 miles an hour. I'll knock it into manual mode. Of course, we'll also put it into the RS mode, or I should say the dynamic mode for now, since the RS modes aren't really set up. A very good turning circle, by the way, and we'll see what the, you know, how fast we can get this thing up to 60. Lots of turns and curves on our back road too, so we'll definitely get a feel for the handling abilities on this car too. So just pretty much sit back and relax and enjoy the RS5 with me. So even in comfort mode, you do get a little bit of noise from the exhaust. Of course, there are sort of butterfly valves in the exhaust that open and close between dynamic or RS modes and the comfort mode. As you can see, the lane keep assist is active, and it lets me know when the green sort of little lanes pop up, both in the dash and up on the heads-up display, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so we don't have anybody coming over here, so yeah, if we get out of the lane a little bit, it will kind of just gently steer you back into the lane, and it's a very non-evasive sort of lane keep assist. And up at speeds of almost 50 miles an hour, it's pretty quiet in here. Even with the frameless glass, there is barely any wind noise coming in. Pretty minimal tire noise. We do have some pretty big wheels and summer tires, of course, so those are a tad noisy, but no big deal there. And the ride quality so far in comfort mode is actually pretty comfortable. Just going over this road, there's not a whole lot of bumps in this particular road, but yeah, the ride quality seems to be pretty good. Now, I actually used to own an RS5. It was a 2014, so it had a little bit of a different motor. It was also a coupe, a two-door instead of a Sportback. Just a different generation of car, but same idea. Nice, big, powerful engine up front, quattro all-wheel drive, and just a lot of fun. These RS5s are. Okay, so at this point, we're going to put it into dynamic mode. Of course, the revs will get a little bit higher. We also have the transmission into sport mode, but we're going to knock it into manual. We'll keep it in second gear, kind of use the paddle shifters, get up to 25, and let's see. Oh, that is a lot of fun, this car. And I don't think I need to tell you, I think you could just kind of tell that this car is quick. Wow. So yeah, 0 to 60 in this car, I believe, is just about in the mid 3 seconds range. So that is no joke. This is a serious car. And you can immediately feel the suspension is a lot stiffer in dynamic mode rather than comfort. Wow. So there is a huge difference in suspension. Also in steering feel too. It is pretty stiff, this steering wheel now. And you just get this really nice deep rumble from that V6. Oh, this is such a fun car. Now, the tires are not warm by any means, so we're not going to do any crazy, cornering or anything like that, but we will get an idea on how this car handles. It's just shocking to me, the difference between the comfort and dynamic modes with the suspension. I am really getting jostled around quite a bit here on this road. Wow, that's impressive. You really do get a pretty good sound from this V6 too. Pretty throaty engine noise, I would say. Alright, so there is a corner up here. We'll give this guy in the Jeep some room. And we'll take it at a little bit of a speed here. Yeah, very impressive cornering. Of course, the adaptive suspension helps out a lot with that. And we'll have one more corner that we can have some fun with here. And that is just a lot of fun. But I'll switch it over into comfort now, since this is a very bumpy section of the road. And I just cannot express to you guys enough what the difference is between the comfort and dynamic modes with the suspension. And wow, the steering does lighten up quite a bit. So yeah, very bumpy section of the road. It's kind of all just patchwork. Not very good patchwork at that. And yeah, once you switch it over into comfort, it is just it's almost like driving an S5, you know, the comfort levels. So that's pretty impressive. Very nicely done with the suspension. This car is also very comfortable as far as the seats go too. Lots of different adjustability for the seats. You know, you have the hugging and loosening of the bolsters on the seat back. So if you're a little bit of a smaller built guy like I am, you could definitely have those bolsters hug you in. So around the corners, you really won't move around at all. So pretty neat there. And for the heck of it, we'll put it back into dynamic mode. I really do like the exhaust note that this car puts out. Even though it's not a dual clutch like some of the Audi cars have, the 8-speed transmission is very, very quick. You almost wouldn't even know the difference between the dual clutch and torque converter transmission this vehicle has. Yeah, this vehicle does sound very good. Subtle sort of blips from the exhaust too when you get on and off the throttle. Oh, this is a very fun car to drive around. And also equally a very good daily driver too. Take a listen to that. It is all smiles here in the RS5, I could tell you that. Alrighty, so now that we are back into our sort of home base here, my wrap-up thoughts on the RS5. This thing really is a hoot to drive, and as I just said, you know, it's equally as impressive as a daily driver. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed the 2023 Audi RS5 Sportback just as much as I have, and I also hope you stay with us here at Ty Drives for more videos just like this one.